Amanda.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I made it automatically record.
Okay, that's
Um,
fine.
and then I just made you host.
Okay, perfect.
How are you? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, how about you?
Good in the hood. I'm actually going to see a show today. So in New York
Oh, how
City.
nice.
I know my mom like sprung it on me. I'm like, okay, sure. So I feel bad that I'm like abort mission right now, but
No, no, what show are you seeing?
Harry Potter.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a show.
Oh my gosh, Amanda, I've heard such good things. Have you ever been to like have you ever seen Wicked?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is the best.
We just came back from Harry Potter World in Orlando.
You wait, where'd you go in Orlando?
Harry Potter World at Universal.
Oh my gosh, was it awesome?
Oh my God, it's so much fun. We went a year and a half ago, and then Sumunge had work in Orlando and he had 4 days in between conferences. So he was like, do you guys want to come out and hang out? And so I asked the girls what they wanted to do, and they both chose Harry Potter over Disney. I was so relieved.
Yeah. No, I totally agree because I've been to Disney and it's magical and all that stuff, but um it's nice to like change it up and see something different. I've never been there.
Oh, it's so fun. So we all have our cloaks and our wands, and we just go and have a really good time. It
Oh,
was so much fun.
that's so cute. I'm excited. And I'm happy Matt was
Good
super
for you.
responsive today. I love Matt.
Um, so you're just taking the train in. Do you take the commuter or do you take Greyhound?
Commuter, so it's
Yeah.
Metro North.
Yep.
Yeah, so I love New York City.
Me too. Every time I go back, I miss it, but then I'm like, I don't think I could live here again with kids.
How long ago did you live here?
I lived there in 03 to '06.
Nice. Oh my God, that's a long time.
Yeah. And I miss it every time I go back, but then I'm like, by the end of my stay, I'm like, I could never have kids here.
I wouldn't want to raise a family here at all.
Well, if I had big money, then it would be different.
Yeah. Well, you will, Amanda. You're on your way.
Hey, Matt.
Good morning.
Hi, Matt.
How's the train?
Oh, it's lovely. I'm actually now currently in Grand Central Station, so it's even more of a loud situation. So I'm really sorry.
Not at all. No worries here. It sounds pretty quiet wherever you are.
Oh, okay, good. I've like found a corner somewhere.
Good. So, Matt, how do you want to work this? So after we introduce like the topic, then we go to you and then to Jessica. What do
Yeah,
you?
sure. If you want, I'm just going to say hi and mention the fact that this is technically part of a partnership that we have with the city. But I guarantee you, if we got demographics, probably a quarter or less are from Providence. Uh,
Really? Okay.
that would be my guess. But we signed the co-sponsorship agreement with us, obviously SBDC and the city earlier this year to do work to help businesses within the city. And
Mhm.
this is one of the topics they really wanted. So, but obviously because as a federal agency, we cannot say no to anybody. It's open to the public.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, my guess is a quarter of them would be from the city of Providence, and the rest are probably outside.
How
But
many do we have on our end, Elena?
On registrations, there was about 40.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and
So
this presentation is completely different than the one I did last year because I was going through it and I was like, should I build? Should I edit? And then I was like, scrap, starting from zero. So the
I'm
people who
excited.
attended last year will get some new information.
Oh, yeah, it's good timing too. So I think it'll be helpful. I'll be like here, so I'll be able to take care of like if anyone's not on mute and it's like making a bunch of ruckus. So I'll still be in the background, but
Okay, perfect.
I got the mechanics down.
I'm just going to run up and grab my glass of water, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, Amanda, I'm gonna go on mute, but like I said,
Okay.
I'm here, and if I hear any like stuff going on, I got you.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, and good luck today. You're the best.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hi, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the presentation.
Thanks, Pam.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We'll get going in a few minutes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give about 2 more minutes for all those people trying to get on, and then we'll get going right away. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to give everybody about 1 more minute. I want to make sure I respect your time, and then we'll get going.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so no marshmallow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It's about 3 past the hour. Wanted to make sure I gave everyone time to log in if they were having difficulties. This will be recorded and sent to you. So feel free to take notes, but also be aware that you will get a copy of the presentation as well as the slide deck. Share my screen. So welcome, everyone. The topic for this presentation is e-commerce for the holidays. And this is a presentation in partnership with the RISBDC, the SBA, as well as the City of Providence. So I'd first like to introduce Matt Spear. He's the Deputy District Director for the Small Business Administration. So welcome, Matt.
Thanks, Amanda. Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to say hi on behalf of the SBA. I work out of the Rhode Island District Office, which is right downtown in Providence there. on Westminster Street. But as Amanda mentioned, this is a part of a collaboration that we did with the City of Providence and our Small Business Development Center in an effort to get some more training and services out to small businesses in the city, as well as, of course, around the state. I mean, we're Rhode Island. I'm a native Rhode Islander, so I mean, really, we're all within like 30 minutes of each other anyways. But really excited for today's presentation. I've sat through numerous presentations that Amanda's made. She's fantastic. So you guys are in for a real treat today. I hope you get something out of it. I will put my information in the chat so you have it. If you ever need anything, you can reach out to myself here in the office, and we can get you the assistance that you need. And want to just pass it over to Jesse Ernster with the City of Providence, who is their small business coordinator.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Kind of like Matt said, this is a very exciting presentation. I know because all year round, online presence is so huge, but time's up by 10 during the holiday season and everybody shopping and getting their plans together. So very excited to be doing this presentation for you guys in partnership with the SBA, with Amanda, the SBDC, and I will have my contact as well in the chat for any things you might need from the city.
Thank you. Elena's contact is also on the slide presentation, and I'm sure Elena can pop her email in the chat as well. And if you have any questions and you'd like some assistance from the SBDC, she can be, she's a point of contact of person to point you in the right direction, whether it's in connection with me or any area of your business. So thank you, Matt and Jesse, for that. I'm excited for this partnership. And I'm really excited for this topic. So first, I'll just begin with some housekeeping. If you could please keep yourselves on mute. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and there'll be breaks periodically where I'll stop between subjects to answer questions live. And then at the end of the presentation, there'll be another opportunity for questions. With that, we'll get going. I'm going to come off camera because I'm working on multiple screens, and that way I'm not looking crazy. But I will come back on camera when I answer questions, so that way it doesn't feel, it feels more personal. So with that, we'll get going. Thank you so much. All right, great. This topic is e-commerce for the holidays, and this is a topic we've covered multiple years in a row, but this presentation is completely new. So if you've been in a past presentation about either holiday campaigns or anything around this topic, this is completely new. So I hope you learn something new and you get some fresh ideas. So here at the Rhode Island SBDC, we exist to train, educate, and support entrepreneurs of both new, pre-venture, and established small businesses. We're positioned within the nationwide network of SBDCs. We offer resources, key connections at the state and national level, workshops such as this, and online and in-person support that equips us to help Ocean State entrepreneurs reach the next level of growth. I say this at every presentation. We have an incredible group here at the SBDC. So if you need any help in your business in any area, please reach out and one of our counselors can help you. This is also a great opportunity with our partnership with the SBA and City of Providence. We have 2 additional resources with Matt and Jesse, so please reach out and allow us to serve you. So who is this for? We're going to jump right into it. If you sell something online, this is for you. Now, this is an e-commerce focused presentation. However, if you sell a service, there may be some tidbits you can pick up in here, but I do want to just let everyone know that this is e-commerce focused. And if you have a product, then this is the presentation for you. And why do holiday campaigns matter? Well, the reason it's called Black Friday is because typically that's when most businesses come in the black, but it's way beyond that. It's one of the most lucrative seasons for retails. And we also see the highest traffic volumes during this time of year. And on average, retail sales during this time of year can factor up to 30% of annual revenue. So there's a huge opportunity in these last, say, 8 to 10 weeks of the year to really drive your bottom line. And then if you're not participating, you could be missing out on maximizing this significant impact that could on your overall business. So like I said, on average, 30% of annual revenue comes in the last 8 weeks of the year, which is a significant impact. So you want to unlock the holiday potential. It's Black Friday is the one that usually pops in mind, but there are so many other opportunities. We have Cyber Monday, we have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa. So I really want you to think outside of the box when you're thinking about how you could be marketing your products to potential end users. There's also Small Business Saturday, and there's a couple of other lesser known holidays in here that we'll cover later in the presentation. So I want you to think outside of the box. You know, if typically you only go towards Black Friday, I want you to think about all the other opportunities that you could be using to market and sell your products. So this is the time of year where there are significant consumer behavior shifts. Consumers are more open to purchasing, and they're in a gift-giving mood when they're often looking for gifts for other people and looking also for themselves, right? A lot of people are not willing to purchase things for themselves, but as they approach this time of year and there are deals going on in the holiday spirit, they're more likely to purchase for not only others, but also themselves. So that means people who aren't regular customers, you have a better chance of converting them during the holidays because of this consumer behavior shift. And then also a lot of holiday shoppers will try new stores or brands during the holidays. So while they might be adverse to trying in other parts of this year, parts of the year, this time of year, people are more open to purchasing from brands that they're not familiar with. So that brand loyalty isn't always a major deciding factor in how consumers spend their dollars. But beyond that, one of my favorite things about this time of year is that this is not just a chance for a one-time sale, right? This is an opportunity to acquire a lifelong customer. And so if you have a shopping experience that is so positive and delightful, you have the opportunity for that to lead to multiple sales and for them to then have that brand loyalty towards you. So we're going to talk about planning your calendar. So here are some lesser known holidays, but I want you to start recognizing your key shopping dates. So if you could imagine having a calendar out in front of you, I want you to think about all of the holidays that you would like to market this time of year and back into your strategy. But I also want you to think about additional little bumps in traffic that you could acquire by having some of these lesser known holidays. One of the big ones is Green Monday. That's the second Monday of December. And this is one of the biggest online shopping days. Data has showed that this, for some reason, it could be because we're getting so close to the end of year and Christmas. But be aware that that's an opportunity for you to push your marketing a little bit. Also, free shipping day. I learned about this one when I was researching for this presentation. December 14th, it is customary for e-commerce stores to offer free shipping for that one day. There's also Small Business Saturday, and that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And that's to celebrate the impact of small businesses in our communities. You'll see a lot of, especially here in Rhode Island, we're so small business rich, you'll see a lot of promotion for Small Business Saturday and walking tours and events surrounding that to get people out supporting our local economy. So these lesser known dates can be very advantageous, and not every competitor is going to capitalize on them. So there's an opportunity for you to have a unique promotion and get in on some of that action. So I also want you to take into consideration your shipping deadline. So depending on what carrier you use to ship your products, I want you to be super mindful about when the deadline for each of these holidays are. So I want you to underpromise and overdeliver versus saying, you know, you can offer shipping on the 24th to get there the 25th when most carriers are not going to do that. So I want you to be considerate of that, and also your processing times, and be very clear when your cutoff is for holiday delivery. So that way you ensure that your users have a great experience and they're not thinking they're going to get one thing and then get another, because that can taint how they feel about your brand and it can lead them to not want to shop with you in the future. However, if you have clear deadlines and you have everything up front about your shipping policies and you create a great experience, you could build that consumer trust and have them visit you over and over again. So this all boils down to proper communication. You want to make sure at the end of the day that your customers are satisfied. This isn't a one-time transaction. This is an opportunity to build a relationship with these people that are going to come back to you over and over again when they're thinking of not only their holiday shopping needs, but birthday shopping, anniversary shopping, teachers' gifts, all the things that we shop for. if you create this positive experience, they're more likely to come back to you to patron your business again. So there's also an opportunity for post-holiday sales. I know there's a big push for holiday sales, but there's also opportunity after. And that's those days following Christmas leading up to the new year. And there's opportunity to have overstock clearances, end of year sales, and new year themed promotions. But also lots of people give gift cards for these holidays. And when you run these sales or promotions, a lot of consumers are looking to get the best deal they can with their gift cards. So there's lots of opportunity to keep that momentum going. So also, you got to factor in returns and exchanges. The first week in January is when you'll typically see a spike in returns. So you want to make sure that you are properly staffed for that. And have clear expectations for turnaround time, because it can be frustrating if you have a return or an exchange and then the experience is a little bit subpar. It can lead those customers to not want to shop with you again. So you want to make sure you have really crystal clear return policies and guidelines, so that way you're making returns efficient for your consumer. And as I say over and over again, you always want to be looking at things from a customer experience standpoint. And having this smooth return experience can help retain customers and build trust. So we'll take a quick pause and see if anyone has a question here. Before I move on, you can pop it in the chat. If not, we'll start moving on to inventory. All right, cool. So moving on to inventory. So I want you to start making data-driven decisions. And what that means is I want you to look at your sales data from your previous year. And if your business hasn't been open a full year, I want you to look at however many months of data you have and start to begin to forecast the potential demand for your products. So what that means is you want to look at items that have gained popularity, items that are selling out more quickly right now. Are there certain SKUs or colors or a certain design of your product that's more popular than others? I want you to take time and understand and learn those past patterns so you can make informed decisions on what you should stock up on, because you don't ever want someone to come to your site and you not have proper inventory, and then you're not able to meet the demand. That is a strategy for some businesses where they'll have a limited amount of product. But really, if the name of the game is volume, then you want to make sure that you're properly stocked and that you're looking at your insights to make decisions for what products it is you need to kind of bulk up on. And you don't want to overstock, right? So you want to make sure you're looking at your data, because you don't want to have to run those clearance to get rid of all the extra inventory. You want to make smart decisions about your inventory management. You want to diversify your inventory. So what does that mean? So not only are you looking at your trending products, what's hot right now, you want to make sure that you have enough of your core products. So you want to make sure you have your best sellers and your signature items. There's also an opportunity for seasonal add-ons, right? So if you have holiday themed products or bundles or anything, or even these order bumps where they're smaller, more affordable items that you can add into cart to kind of get people over the threshold for shipping. So for example, if you have free shipping over $100 and you know that 2 of your products cost about $95, you want to make sure you have some smaller offerings to able to bump people up, because not qualifying for free shipping can deter some people from purchasing, right? Like we're so used to having our products in, 1-day shipping in Amazon, that those are the small things that help people make buying decisions. These can be simple gift wrapping opportunities. It can be a card you insert, or it could be some smaller, more affordable items that people can add on. And you want to make sure you have a range of products. Now, if you're a business that only has 1 or 2 SKUs, like your range is what your range is. But if you have an opportunity to add in smaller products or seasonal specials, this is a great opportunity to either introduce or test out some new products and see how they perform. So one of the things is inventory management. So I recommend you have some type of software that tracks stock levels and can predict demand and provide insights. Now, if you have an e-commerce platform like Shopify, there are some apps that easily integrate to make this easier for you. So you want to make sure everything is real time, because you don't want people to place an order and then you have to send them a notification that the product is actually out of stock. that creates a poor buyer experience. And you always want to make sure that you're providing an enjoyable experience when people are shopping with you. And leveraging this technology is just an easy way to minimize human error, but also gets you out of the mix, right? Like, you don't want to be doing inventory management. You should be working on your business, not managing an inventory. So if you have software, kudos to you, but if you don't, this could be a great opportunity to implement some type of software to be able to do this inventory management component for you. So website readiness. Let's take a break. Are there any questions so far? All right, just pop them in the chat. So let's talk about website readiness. Now, what we're seeing over the last few years is a mobile forward online shopping community. So a lot of people are doing their online shopping on their phones, right? They're doing it between cooking dinner and on their lunch break, and all of these different ways people are using your visiting your website is increasingly on their mobile devices. So we want to make sure that your website is responsive to mobile, and you want to look at what it looks like on the mobile device. You want to make sure it works well, and not only on your mobile phones, but also your tablets. We are seeing that come in at number 2 for users. So we want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly and that this is a seamless mobile experience. You don't want someone to go on your desktop, visit your website on a desktop, and then when they go to the phone, everything's completely different and they're searching for their navigation bar. You want to make sure everything is very easy to use. We know people have really short attention spans, and if for any reason they get bored or it's too complicated, they'll bounce off your site and find a similar product elsewhere. So you want to make sure that's a very smooth experience for your users. Another thing to think about is your website speed, especially as you get increased traffic. It can slow down your website. So you want to make sure that all of your images are compressed, that you're utilizing a CDN. And then right here on the bottom, I have a link to what a CDN is. And that's basically a hosting network outside of your website to be able to have more capacity for traffic on your website. You want to make sure your load times are super fast. You want to make sure that when people are coming on your website, it's not giving them errors. So make sure you have the capacity for higher volume traffic. This also boosts SEO, by the way. So one of the factors in your search engine optimization, and that's where you appear when people search for you in Google or whatever search engine they're using, where you appear on that ranking is their site speed is factored into that. So you want to simplify your checkouts. What we call your path of resistance or your friction is how many clicks it takes between someone coming to your website, adding to cart, and beginning that checkout and purchase. If they have to create an account, you're less likely to have a conversion. If they don't have multiple payment options to select from, you're less likely to convert. So you want to really simplify this checkout process, and this will really reduce your cart abandonment. And then you're able to not only convert more of your traffic, but they're also to have a more pleasant experience. So when you're thinking about what your path to conversion looks like, if you could minimize any of the clicks or steps, you want to make sure you're implementing that because it increases your rate of actually getting a purchase from a buyer. And you want to make sure your site is secure. With so many online sites to choose from, users want to make sure that their credit card or PayPal or whatever Apple Pay information is going to be safe. So you want to make sure you have your SSL certificate. And this is a certificate to ensure your site is secure. And that way they know if they enter in their credit card information, it's going to be safe. There's also additional trust badges you could have on your website. And I just took a couple of screen grabs of a couple of the most popular ones here, but you want to make sure that users know that your site is safe. Nobody wants to be hacked, especially this time of year when people are making lots of purchases. They want to make sure that their information is secure. And building this trust can lead to higher conversion rates. I know when I go on a website, if they don't have the SSL certificate, I'm not purchasing from them because I can't risk my information being compromised. So it is a deciding factor for buyers. So make sure you have that in place. You also want to make sure you have holiday themes on your, not only your website, but also all of your social, wherever you're present online. You want to make sure that you're carrying that over. So that way people are experiencing the same branding across multiple platforms. You don't want your brand to feel disjointed. So if you're running heavy holiday promotions, say on LinkedIn, but when people go to your Instagram, they're not seeing any evidence of it, it can build a little bit of distrust. So you want to make sure you're consistent against everywhere you're online or wherever your presence is. So this can include updating banners, having images with holiday themes, your call to actions, also having a special deal section where you have a section or page dedicated to your holiday promotions. And all of this helps consumers get in the mood, and it encourages more holiday spending. So the happier, more joyful the experience is, the more likely people are going to convert on your website. So here's some examples of some headers and banners. These are all either Canva or Glide. Canva is free to use, but some examples I have here is a banner you could have on your website. You could also have a holiday opt-in if you're also list building while you're promoting your holiday stuff. And then there's also banners you can put on your social media, your websites, your LinkedIn, everywhere your holiday emails, everywhere can be implemented. So you want to make sure you're spreading those holiday vibes all across your platforms. So we'll take a break for commercials for questions. So Claudia asked, will the SSL certificate be built into the Squarespace or Shopify platforms? I don't know if it's built in or if you have to opt into it and make the extra step, but yes, Squarespace and Shopify both have the SSL certificate. Did I answer your question? You got it, no problem. All right, so now we'll talk about offers. And this is what it all comes down to, right? Your positioning. And this doesn't always have to be a discount. So there's all different opportunities for your offers. You can have flash sales, you can have insider looks, right? So if you have a list of people who have already purchased from you, you can give them an insider's look to what's going to be available. You could have buy one, get one, and that can be buy one, get one free, buy one, get one 50% off, buy one, get one, whatever you decide. You can also have early bird discounts. I see this one this is very popular with printing, right? If you do photo cards, you'll see early bird discounts on photo cards. There's also member discounts. If you have like a membership or an affiliate component to your business, you can offer discounts to them. If you have limited stock, I've been seeing lots of ads right now for Converse doing a pop-up in Boston, and they're having these limited stock offers for their pop-up in Boston. There's also an opportunity to have tiered discounts where spend 50, get 10% off, spend 100, get 15% off, spend 200, etc. So this encourages people to buy more, to save more. There's also have, when you land on a website, spin the wheel type offers where you can spin the wheel and get a discount, or then also a gift card with purchase. We'll see a lot of restaurants do this. For every $50 you spend on gift cards, you get a $5 gift card. So there's lots of opportunities here. What this all comes down to is knowing your numbers, right? You're not going to be able to offer buy one, get one free if your numbers don't allow that for you, right? Like whatever you're offering, you want to make sure that you're not in the red. Unless you have a long-term plan for customer acquisition, like maybe it makes sense for you, for your product, to be able to take a loss in the beginning because what you offer is like either a subscription or something that people have to purchase over and over again. And it's cheaper to lose on one sale and then have them repeat buy versus acquiring a new sale every time. So there is some strategy behind this. You always have to know your numbers and what makes sense for your business. And there's some of them that require a little bit of tech, right? So if you're going to have a spin the wheel on your website, that's something you have to implement. So there might be some tech involved that can also influence how you make the decision. Like creating coupon codes is probably one of the easier ways to offer a discount, but some of these will require a little bit more tech. So I want you to be mindful of that when making a decision, what your offer is going to be for the holiday season. There's also lots of opportunity to check out the competition. I have a link in the bottom right of the screen called blackfriday.com, and you could go online and look at all of the current offers out there. And there's all kinds of sites here. It's not just what's here. There's literally pages upon pages of ads, and you can look to see what people are offering. So you can figure out what your positioning should be and what's out there, right? So you can be aware of what's going on in your market. You could do the same with Facebook ads. You could go and look at anybody's ads and see what they're running. So if you're ever curious, you could just go to this link down here, the Facebook ads library, and then you type in the business or the topic. I just typed in Black Friday ads or Black Friday, and this is what came up. So do your research and see what else is out there, and that could help guide your decision. If you know industry standard is to offer a clear coupon and that works best for industry, you might want to go there, versus you seeing there's lots of opportunities in different ways you can position yourself. Then you can make a decision and say, hey, instead of doing this, I'd like to do a buy one, get one, or I'd like to do a tiered offer. Now we'll talk about marketing. And so the first one is going to be email marketing. These are your hottest audiences. These are people who have opted in to receive marketing communications from you. This is different from people who have purchased from you and you have their email addresses, but they haven't opted into marketing. I want to make sure that the email list you have is people who have opted in to receive marketing messages. In order to say GDPR compliant, we want to make sure that everyone you're emailing has given you permission to email them. This is not emails from a transactional email. So I just want to make sure that's crystal clear, because we want to make sure we stay compliant. And these messages can be tailored or segmented by past purchase history, browsing behavior, or user preferences. You can have an email sequence where you're leading up to major holiday sales and creating that anticipation. You can also always use your recipient's name. You can also suggest products based on browsing history. And then you want to make sure you take your time writing these emails, because when they're well done, it can really boost your conversions. We see some of the biggest ROIs in marketing dollars is from email marketing. And if you don't have a list, now's a good time to start. So you could do paid ads. So I always look at ads in terms of what's called an AIDA funnel, and that's attention, interest, desire, and action. And the higher up they are in the funnel, the cheaper they are to acquire, versus people that you're actually making a purchase. They're a little more expensive to acquire. So you always want to look at your paid ad strategy from a full funnel point of view. And then at the very top is typically your colder audiences. These are people who they're by your demographics, right? You know their age, you know their gender, you know their interests. And as you get more towards the center of that funnel, these are people who have visited your website or your social media pages or watched specific videos you've put out, but haven't quite made a purchase. And then you have people at the bottom, which is more of your hot audience. These are people who have added to your cart or spent a certain amount of time on your pages that you know they're more ready to buy. So you want to make sure as you're targeting them in different places in the funnel, the messaging is a little different, because someone who is brand unaware, the message to them is going to be very different than someone who's added a product to your cart but just abandoned. So you want to be mindful that you're talking to people and meeting them where they're at in the buyer journey. You want to have some holiday themed ads. Red is a big one, gold. Make sure that you're kind of sprucing up and diversifying your ads so that way it's clear it's for holiday. So these are all free templates in Canva. So you can go and browse in there, and Canva's free, and then you can just add in your own images. So you want to make sure your holiday ads are themed. Social media, you want to make sure you're getting festive. You want to make sure you have holiday themed content. You can share behind the scenes, showcase popular products. You can have exclusive announced limited time offerings. A really big one is user generated content. And this is a subset of content where you'll see things like unboxing videos or people trying on outfits or doing skincare. This is all user generated, and it looks like somebody just took their smartphone and recorded a video of themselves, either opening a package or using your product. But this active social media presence will boost your brand visibility and help get your customers engaged and drive direct sales. So here's some examples of user-generated content. And one of my favorite places to find this is called billow.app. And some of these videos are pretty inexpensive to use. And then for more custom videos, you can get like 6 videos for $500 that you're able to use in different ways. So if you're looking for that type of content, which does really well, especially on social media, I would check out Billow and see what's out there. And you could narrow this down by gender. You can narrow it down by what category, like healthcare, fitness, skincare, auto, whatever. You can narrow it down by that. You can also narrow it down by ethnicity. You can narrow it down by gender, male, female, non-binary. So there's all kinds of opportunities to diversify your videos based on who your demographic is. And then also have your holiday themed social media. Again, these are also free from Canva. All right, another one we're going to talk about is influencers. Now, I think when people initially think about influencers, they're thinking about like people with a massive following. And while that can be true, there's also different tiers of influencers that could be a good fit for your business. And what you want to think about is unboxing and reviews. And this is where you send products for influencers to review or unbox. This also, you could provide discount codes for your influencers, and that gives you an ability to track how many sales or how much they've influenced the market. And then they are able to introduce your brand to a broader audience. And it also adds credibility. When it's not just you talking about how great your product is, it builds that credibility and trust with potential buyers. So here's 2 examples of influencer collaborations. And one is from Instagram and one is from Southern Belle and Training. And they are unboxing videos and tasting videos. And you can click on them and explore them for yourself to see what type of content you can do with your product or service. So there are different levels of influencers. So that nano influencer has between 1 to 10,000 followers. The micro is 10 to 50. And then you go up to that mid-tier and then more macro influencers. And then you have the mega influencers that have over 1 million followers. And dependent on each of these levels, that will be how much it costs to have a promotional post with these people. And this is from later. There's a great article on this that you could go and dive deep to learn more about this. And just to give you an idea, for a micro influencer, on average, you'll pay between $100 and $500 for an Instagram post. And then YouTube tends to be a little bit higher. TikTok is on the lower end. But I think it really depends on your product and your product and what the engagement rate for your influencer is. That will determine where you are within that range. And then also the conversation you should be having is how you could reuse these videos, because you don't want to just have one post. You'll have some of these mega influencers that will post something and the post only stays live for like 4 hours, right? Those are people who have a ton of influence and charge a ton of money for access to their audiences. So when you're having these conversations, make sure you work out all the details about reusage rights and all of that. So I will answer the question in the chat before moving on to timing. And Claudia said, would hashtags on social media gain more viewers via algorithms? For example, keywords such as sophisticated or holiday, would that help the sales funnel? It will help in the awareness part of your sales funnel. So typically, I don't put hashtags in ads, but on social media, I do use hashtags. And you want to be using a combination of like some of those really big, broad ones, like holiday. Sophisticated is another really broad hashtag. And then something a little more micro. So depending, like if you sold pearl earrings, then you would put pearl earrings, right? So you want to have a combination of these hashtags to be able to influence not only the algorithm, but when people are searching, they tend to click on hashtags and see what else is out there. So there's an opportunity to leverage hashtags. Does that answer your question? Super. Okay, perfect. And if you were to Google hashtags, the plus sign, your industry, you could get all kinds of data on what hashtags you could use for your industry. So if you sold dog collars, if you put hashtag the plus sign dog collars, it'll give you a bunch of different ideas of what you could use for your hashtag. So you could do that for any business or any product. So typically you want to begin at least 4 weeks before you launch your offer. We're cutting it close here, but there's still time. You want to plan out your content. If you need photos taken, you want to start doing that. You want to decide on which platforms you're going to market on, right? Like every platform is not for everyone, and that's okay. So if I were to give a recommendation, I would say focus on 2 that you could do really well versus 5 that you could do subpar. And then you want to make sure you have all of your pixels and conversion tracking in place. And pixels are just small pieces of code that you put on your website in order to track the performance of ads and visitors from like Facebook or Google or YouTube. So you want to make sure all of that is set up and all of that is in place before you launch. So that way you can gather data to be able to analyze your results. So just to give you an idea of where we are, there's 29 days until Black Friday, 31 days until Small Business Saturday, 33 days until Cyber Monday, 43 days until the start of Hanukkah, 61 days until Christmas, and 62 days until Kwanzaa. So you want to figure out which of these you really want to go hard on and back into it. And some of these can kind of piggyback off of each other, right? So some of these, like say you're going to participate in Small Business Saturday, you would probably skip out on Black Friday because you want to encourage people to come to you on Saturday. And then maybe if you see you need a leftover push, you could do some marketing for Cyber Monday. So you really want to think about what would work best for your business. And, you know, it might not be feasible for your business to have 6 different campaigns for all of these different countdowns, right? We also had that free shipping day. There was also the Green Monday. There's all these other opportunities. So you got to figure out what makes the most sense for your business and then get to work on that. So then I also wanted to touch upon your post-holiday strategy, because that is as important as getting people to make a purchase for the holidays. So you want to encourage customers to share photos of their purchases, and this social proof can help future customers make that buying decision. Use the hashtags. Also, I always recommend following up with a request for a review. And if you have to incentivize your feedback by either entering them in a drawing or offering a gift card or a discount code for a secondary purchase, I think it's worth it. And, you know, be prepared for honest reviews, right? Like if you're not meeting the mark, be open to hearing that feedback so you can get better, right? The name of the game is always improvement and giving your customers the best experience they can have. And if those reviews are going to, even if you don't publish them, right? Like say you ask for reviews and then you realize, wow, I really missed the mark with delivery. You don't have to publish them, but you can take that internal data and rework how you do things and improve. So you want to show the human side of your business. You could always show either behind the scenes or the post-holiday wind down or your own company celebrations. People like to see that they're working with humans. Sometimes it can feel so overwhelming to work with some of these big brands that a lot of people are shopping more local and smaller. So there's an opportunity for you to humanize your business a bit. You also want to keep up with your email engagement. So you want to send thank you emails to your first-time customers. That right there, that little acknowledgement can get people so excited to be working with your brand that they'll come back. You can also offer loyalty rewards or an affiliate programming. Also ask for feedback, right? Another opportunity is surveys, right? Like if you feel like you can gain some data, you can send out a survey and ask them about their shopping experience, ask them about their product experience. This not only provides insights, but also shows the customers that you value their opinion, and that helps build confidence in them. You're also able to provide unique deals or early access to future sales for people who made their first purchase during the holidays. And then it gives you momentum to build for the upcoming year, right? So if you start to look into the beginning of next year and what holidays are coming, you could use this momentum to build into Valentine's Day or President's Day or whatever the next upcoming push for you is. So you want to use this as an opportunity to accelerate your business and versus restarting holiday campaigns over and over, and take some of that data and improve. So you want to analyze, this is coming to the very end of it, right? So have you ever felt like your analytics is a hot dumpster fire? So you want to get that all situated before and make sure all of your pixels are in place, your conversioning is in place, you know, your autoresponders are in place. Get all of that in place before you launch. So that way, when you're looking at your data, you can gather feedback and say, hey, this actually didn't work that good. Or you can say this strategy works super well. I would also engage the other departments in your business, whether that's customer service or shipping and marketing, to get a better understanding of the challenges and where you can improve. And if that's all you, then it's easy. You have a conversation with yourself and be objective and think about how can you improve the overall process as well as the user experience. So look at your numbers and look for patterns. Did you grow? Were there opportunities to improve? Was your website fast enough? Did you have a solid offering? Was the checkout process smooth? Could you improve your graphics? What did your timing look like? Do you feel like you need more or less time? These are all things to look at. And some of the metrics I like to track are my year over year and month over month. So I am always looking at this data. You always want to be trending up on your traffic. I also look at new users versus returning users. I also look at traffic by source. If you're running campaigns, say on LinkedIn and Google, you want to make sure that your traffic by source shows growth in these areas. Also looking at your conversion rate. You want to look at your average order value. Are people spending more or less than they were before? And is it because they were buying more or less product? Were they doing order bumps? Were they skipping order bumps? Look at all of this data. And of course, sales. You always want to look at your sales, but there are other factors that contribute to sales, right? So if you're noticing your year over year traffic was low and you didn't have very many new users, and then your conversion rate was down, that kind of gives you some clues as to where you should be digging and making improvements. So in conclusion, there's a great opportunity for to capitalize on all of the people who are spending a lot more time online looking to do online shopping and purchasing gifts. So this takes some meticulous planning and executing and honestly monitoring, right? You want to go day by day, but you want to make sure that you're looking beyond just the immediate one-time sale. You want to look at this as an opportunity to create this everlasting impression and relationship with consumers so they come back to you over and over again. So when they're thinking about getting someone a gift, you're always top of mind because they had such a great experience. So you want to look at the holiday calendar, right? Let's back into this. What are the major sales and events you have going on? You want to look at your data, make sure you have your inventory in place. You want to make sure you have enough to sell. You don't want to ever have to be a bunch of out of stock. If people are coming to your website and everything's out of stock, it's unlikely they're going to come back. You want to look at enhancing your website speed, design, navigation, and checkout process, as well as using email marketing. You want to leverage your email marketing, your social media, your PPC, which is your paid ads, retargeting, which is sending messages to people who have visited specific pages on your website or visited your social media pages, and then also your influencer collaborations. And then you always want to be monitoring your performance and metrics, get feedback and improve, right? Sometimes things that you think will work won't, and things that you think are going to kind of be mediocre end up being stars. So you want to look at all of that data to be able to make decisions going forward. Here are some resources I included that helped create this presentation. So you can look at all of the Black Friday flyers as well as the Facebook ads library. There's also a page here if you're looking to do influencer work, as well as that user-generated content, as well as understanding what you should be paying for these influencer rates and some holiday graphics. So with that, we will have an opportunity for Q&A. Any questions? Feel free to come off mute and have a conversation if you'd like. And if not, you will get a copy of this presentation as well as the slide deck. And if any questions arise and you need some further assistance, feel free to reach out to either Jesse or Matt, or Elena. We have a question come through from Katie. How do you recommend asking for rewarding reviews? So there are different like platforms that you could use for like to get reviews, but also like just asking and saying, you know, you'll be entered into a drawing for whatever. Just making sure, I think the way to do it so it doesn't look like a bribe is you're not waiting weeks to ask for the review. Like I would have some type of automation set up that as soon as they make a purchase, you know, you might want to give them 2 or 3 days to, you know, try your product and then solicit a review. And then people love discounts, right? So even if you're going to give them like 5% off or 10% off or a free shipping code or whatever, like whatever you can wiggle to get that review, people are used to getting something back. Like nobody's providing free labor in 2023, right? Like it's very rare that someone's just going to say, "Oh, I really love this. Let me go leave them a review." Like that's just not the times we live in. Nobody's doing free labor for anyone, especially not a brand and even a big brand, right? Like when Amazon reaches out to me to like provide reviews, I'm like, no. And then when they're like, "Oh, you're getting a $100 gift card," then I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to take an hour out of my day for free labor for this major corporation, right? So like that just doesn't happen anymore. Thank you, Mary Jo. I appreciate that feedback. Is there a way to ask for a Google review via your point of sale? I will look into that for you, Katie. And I know there are like Trustpilot is one. There are different platforms out there that kind of automate some of it for you. But I will look into that further for you.
It looks like Claudia had a question further up the chat a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jesse. Claudia said, through Squarespace, there's access to abandoned cart. Are there any special messages we could use for those customers? Yeah, so if you even do a simple search for like abandoned cart email marketing, you'll get a ton of different ideas. But typically when I'm doing an abandoned cart email, I just getting that reminder, because sometimes it's not that they're abandoning your cart intentionally. Sometimes they're like in the middle of cooking kids dinner, they're bringing this one this way, they have a work meeting, they just get sidetracked. And just having that reminder, like, do you want to pick up where you left off? You don't even always have to offer some type of discount to get people to come back. Sometimes they just need that reminder. They'll be like, oh crap, I forgot I was buying that. And when they get that email reminder, then they'll go through and make the purchase. But if you need like specific messaging, depending on what your industry is, if you reach out to Elena, she can connect us and I can kind of help you workshop that. Or you could reach out to Jesse. I'm not sure how you got to us, but there's lots of resources here for you to get that answered a little bit more deeply, more specific, I should say, and customized. Great. It looks like we got everything answered. If, you know, something pops into your head after, just please reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to get your questions answered. And thank you so much for coming and good luck on your holiday campaigns. Thank you everyone for coming. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, so this,
that was awesome.
thank you. I'll send the slide deck to Elena and she'll get it out to you and Matt, but she did hit record before. So I think we're all set on our end. And once it's downloaded and everything, she'll get this to you ASAP.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a
Have a
good
great
holiday
day.
season.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye.